This fragrance is sharp, piercing, and impossible to miss, just like its name. Hey, what's up guys? Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. Today we are reviewing probably one of my favorite releases of last year is Buchart Colbert's Knife Thrower, and I cannot believe I am just now reviewing this beauty, guys, because believe it or not, I actually wore this fragrance for a whole week straight. As like my signature scent when I was in the process of a move. I even still have a decant, like a travel spray in my car of this fragrance if I ever forget to apply fragrance, which rarely happens, but I always have this as a backup, and I know I'm gonna smell incredible because this fragrance actually is kind of in the same realm as my signature scent. You guys know what that is? Of course you do if you know my channel or know me, and that is Louis Vuitton's La Mentite right over there. That is my beauty, my signature scent right now, and this is in the same realm as that, but has its own kind of unique twist and completely goes in its own direction. And of course, we'll break down the scent profile here soon. Have you guys heard of Buchart Colbert? I believe he was an artist and then finally came out with like his own fragrance brand. But these are kind of like an indie niche house is what I would consider them to be. And I gotta say, I love the aesthetic behind these, man. I also do want to shout out Buchart Colbert for sending Knife Thrower over for review. Of course, I'm still gonna keep it honest with you. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. It's as simple as that. And I actually tried every single one from the lineup, and this is by far the one that stuck out the most to me. Now let's run down some information. So Knife Thrower was launched in 2024. Like I said, it was probably one of my favorite releases of last year. I think it came out more so towards the end of 2024. For the retail price, only size this comes in, which is the 50 ml, is gonna run you $185, which is kind of expensive, but at the end of the day, guys, this is a niche brand with niche quality, so expect to pay a hefty price for something like that, but still not too expensive. The concentration is an eau de parfum, so you're probably getting roughly around 20% oils. And for the perfumer, I believe he's also the owner of Buchart Colbert, is Sean Colbert, who's made, I believe, every single fragrance in their lineup. So he's both the founder and perfumer behind the brand, and I always respect when that's the case because it always seems like they put more love into their fragrances. With all the information out of the way, let's go look at the packaging and presentation you get with Knife Thrower now. All right, taking a look at this bottle, which of course stands out, guys. I love the aesthetic with the knife on the front. Kind of have like this fern, some citruses in the background with silver, and I love the color scheme. Knife Thrower Buchart Colbert Eau de Parfum 50 ml. On the mug, got your logo. On the side, I think there is some kind of quote right there, and then on the back, barcode and probably a batch code somewhere to authenticate a product and see when it was produced. And anyone could be a knife thrower, which is a fact. Same thing on that side, and your bottle is going to be housed in this kind of cutout right here, as you guys can see. Very high quality attention to detail with the box presentation. Let's do the bottle now. So taking a look at this bottle, which I love, the black kind of scheme. You got this silver knife right here with like a fern and maybe an orange or some kind of citrus. Knife Thrower Buchart Colbert. On the mug, right, your sticker with some information. Nothing on the back. Up top, you got their logo. And then inside of the cap, nothing on the atomage. The cap is a metal. It is pretty hefty, and it does hold in by friction extremely tight. In the top, you got citruses, coriander, and melon. In the mid, you got marine notes, ginger, and grapefruit. And in the base, you got musk and fern, and this will be classified as an aromatic fresh. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Very good distribution on that, guys. It is pressurized, so you can spray both a ton or a little bit, however you prefer. And of course, I'll let you guys do the first sniff. I know for a fact, after smelling that, you're gonna wanna get a bottle of this, huh, guys? This stuff is so good immediately when you apply it because you're gonna get this sharp, bright citruses going on. It's like a combination of maybe like bergamot, lemon, possibly some orange, and they're just a citrus basket of notes, guys. And I love how bright and fresh this one opens up. You also do get that melon. It doesn't go into like a tropical way. It's just like this kind of watery, fresh fruitiness combined together with this very fresh, spicy coriander. And the coriander in here gives off this kind of aromatic fougere tone. Just a fresh, spicy, slightly fruity opening done to perfection. I'm not even joking, guys. That's exactly why I wore this fragrance for like a week or two straight. And I swear, if more people knew about this house, knew about Knife Thrower, this fragrance would go viral. So if you're watching this, you want to stand out and don't want something everybody else is wearing, you got to check this out, especially if you like fresh, citrusy, kind of fruity fragrances. Now, as we make our way into the mid is exactly what reminds me of my beloved La Mentite by Louis Vuitton, because you're going to get this fresh, spicy, uplifting ginger note, very similar to the way it's done in Le Mesité by far. And of course, that fresh, juicy grapefruit, which ginger and grapefruit are one of my favorite combinations in perfumery. Think Sospiro Vibrato, Bulgari's Tiger, Louis Vuitton's Le Mesité. It's absolutely going to be in that realm. I'm saying it's more so similar to Le Mesité than the others because you also get this very watery, aquatic notes in the mid alongside the ginger and grapefruit, because Le Mesité also has that kind of watery flow throughout the DNA. I will say, however, this one is going to be a little bit more spicy in comparison to Le Mesité, so if you love spicy fragrances, this one's worth checking out without a doubt. And then in the base is what sets this one completely apart to the rest, because you are going to get this very earthy, moss-like fern note, guys. A very aromatic fern going on in the base, extremely earthy. And you also do have this kind of earthy musk in the background behind that fern. So all in all, very earthy dry down. And of course, on the bottle, you also have that fern next to that knife on the front of the bottle, which definitely gives off the vibe of this fragrance. So it's almost like a spicier, earthier Le Mesité in my head. And that's exactly why I wore this one as kind of like a signature scent, because it's almost like a good substitute to Le Mesité for me. So if you love grapefruit, ginger fragrances, which who doesn't, right? Vibrato, Tiger, Le Mesité, etc., then you got to check this one out, especially if you like kind of an earthier, spicier twist in that realm, and still done in a very, very high quality way. For the best seasons to rock knife thrower, guys, this is versatile, signature scent worthy, guaranteed. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. You can wear this one all 4 seasons easily because it's bright enough to work in the spring and summer when it's hot outside, but it's also earthy enough and spicy enough where you can rock it in the fall and winter without any hesitation. And that's one of my favorite parts about this genre of fragrances, is how versatile they are. Also, when it comes to occasion, very versatile in and of itself, guys. Casual and formal. You can wear this one wearing pajamas. You can wear this one wearing shorts and jeans, running errands. You can go to the office wearing this one. You can go on a date wearing this one, go to a wedding wearing this one. It just works across the board at any occasion. You're most likely going to be the best smelling guy at whatever occasion you're going to while wearing a knife thrower. I guarantee that for you. But heck, you're gonna be smelling like me at the end of the day, which isn't a bad thing. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So unless I'm at the event you're going to, you're gonna have some competition. If not, you will be the best smelling dude. For a gender, very masculine scent profile, guys. Aromatic, fresh, spicy. This is not something I would ever want my lady to wear, that I would be attracted to on her by any means. Ultra masculine DNA. Possibly even more masculine than the rest in this genre because of that earthy, mossy fern in the dry down, which gives off this kind of classic, slightly old school tone. And it's definitely popping through on this test strip now, and it's only been like, what, not even 10 minutes? Oh my goodness, this stuff is so good, guys. I really hope you guys are able to get your nose on this. For age groups, I'm actually going to classify this one as a little bit more on the mature side of things. Like I said just a second ago, that fern mossiness in the dry down does give off a slight old school tone to it, which means it is going to be on the mature side of things. However, though, if you love this genre, you love this DNA of fragrances, think of the other ones I just mentioned, and you are a little bit younger, you can absolutely check it out. But I will say it is probably the most mature out of the trifecta when it comes to like ginger grapefruit fragrances. But hey, you might be like me, you love those mossy, earthy fragrances and you're like in your early 20s, definitely go for it, because I've always been a fan of those notes ever since I first got into perfumery to begin with, years and years ago. But still, no denying that it is slightly more mature than youthful. Wrapping the review off, talking on the performance you should expect to get from a knife thrower. Now, from my testing, guys, I have a lot of experience with this fragrance, and on my skin, I got around average 8 hours of longevity. If you apply your clothes, you're gonna get a couple hours longer, of course. It's not an absolute beast mode. Think of something like Sospiro Vibrato, but it is on par with maybe like Tiger, possibly Louis Vuitton's Le Mesité, which is also a very good performer. Just don't really expect this one to perform like 12 plus hours on skin at least. But still, for being an EDP, 8 hours is still very respectable, especially for a fresh, citrusy, kind of aquatic, spicy DNA like this one is. And with projection, you're gonna get about moderate projection, which means it's gonna push off the skin about an arm's length or so. You will get noticed, you will get compliments, because when I wore this one, for like a week or two straight. I got so much attention from it, so many comments how good I smelled, etc. So do not worry, people will smell you. It's not like a closed scent bubble kind of skin scent by any means, especially for the first few hours. So it's pretty much going to do what vibrato, tiger, and le mesete do when it comes to compliments, and that trifecta gets a ton of attention. So 8 hours of very good longevity and about moderate projection. So guys, I'm telling you right now, this one is absolutely worth checking out. At least get a travel spray, a sample or something if you don't want to blind buy it, even though I will say this one is going to be blind buy safe, at least if you like this genre of perfumery, which I love. It's by far one of my favorite citrus genres, hands down. That's why they're pretty much my signature scents. So if you have similar taste to me, which I know a lot of you guys do, you have to check out Knife Thrower. So that's gonna do it for my review of this absolute work of art. Let me know down below if you guys have ever heard of Buchart Colbert, if you're thinking about picking up Knife Thrower or trying it out. I'm very curious what you guys think about this one. But besides that, leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already, because what are you doing? I got you with daily content, and I'll see all of you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.